At this time, Boy Scout Troop 81 will lead us in a pledge of allegiance to the American flag.
Color guard, forward, march. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color guard, retreat.
Thank you all. Y'all may be seated. I'd like to welcome everyone to the April 2016 Blount County Board of Commissioners meetings. If you would please give your attention to the emergency evacuation procedures.
Before we get started, let me read the emergency evacuation procedures. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm will sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Once you've reached the main floor, follow the exit signs to exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Please be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles.
Commission will come to order. Please register your presence by voting yes. Madam Clerk.
We have 19 present, 2 absent.
19 present, 2 absent. I believe we're good.
Okay.
Let's update that. Can you update it, Mike? We have 20 present, 1 absent. Commissioner Kaler sends his regrets. He has a work conflict. At this time, the chair will stand for Mike will have to do that because she'll be locked out of voting. Chair will stand for a motion to set the agenda. Commissioner Hedrick moves. Is there a second? I missed the second. Carter. Commissioner Stinnett, you're recognized.
Chairman, in reference because of legislation this week in Nashville and also a letter that the mayor received this morning from Mr. Garrett, our lawyer, I need to pull number 8, resolution 1604-004 from the agenda tonight.
Commissioner Stinnett requests unanimous consent to remove F8 from tonight's agenda. Is there objection? Hearing no objection, so ordered.
That's 003, my fault.
So item F8. Our discussion. Are the members ready for the question? It's to set tonight's agenda, deleting F8. Vote yes to set the agenda. Vote no not to set the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, we have 19 yet.
Wait a minute. Somehow, Jeff Fedrick is
It's not getting it. Be 20 voting yes
yes.
and 1 absent.
20 yes, 0 no. The agenda is set as published with the removal of F8. Next item on the agenda is item B, the consent calendar. The chair will stand for a motion to approve the consent calendar.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Lewis moves. Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Melton seconds. The motion is to approve the consent calendar. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to approve the consent calendar. Vote no not to approve. Please vote. Madam Clerk?
We have 18 voting yes, 2 no, and 1 absent.
18 yes, the consent calendar is approved. Item C, public input on items on the agenda. Anyone wish to speak to an item on the agenda? Seeing no hands, we'll move to item D1A. The election to fill the vacancy of the office of Blount County Highway Superintendent. Madam Clerk, has the required statutory notices been given to the public, the commission, and other parties as required by TCA 55111?
It has, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Pursuant to the public notice, the chair has allowed registered voters to submit names in writing to the chair prior to this meeting. No names have been submitted to the chair. At this time, are there additional names that any registered voter would like to submit to the chair? At this time, is there an additional name that any registered voter would like to submit to the chair? The floor is now open to the members of the commission to nominate candidates to fill the vacancy of the office of Blount County Highway Superintendent. The nomination does not require a second.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Farmer, you're recognized.
Recognizing him.
Commissioner Samples, you're recognized.
I would nominate Commissioner Jeff Hedrick.
Jeff Hedrick's name has been placed in nomination. Are there additional nominations? Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I nominate Brian Downey.
Brian Downey's name has been placed into nomination. Are there other nominations? Chair will stand for a motion to close nominations.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Farmer moves to close nominations. Is there a second? Commissioner Lewis seconds. Motion has been made and seconded to close nominations. All in favor of closing nominations say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Ayes prevail. Nominations are now closed. Do the nominees desire to address the commission? The chair will now recognize any commissioner for the purpose of discussion of the nominees. Commissioner Daly, you're recognized.
Yes, I would like to know the last year that these two worked for the Highway Department and how many years they worked for the Highway Department.
Could you not get that information prior to this meeting?
No, where would it come from?
Is Mr. Downey here? If you'll come forward, sir, and answer the question.
Did you not get that? I thought that was him, but I wasn't sure.
Yes, I had 21 and a half years with the Highway Department.
21 half?
Yes.
Is everyone here 21 and a half years? Is that correct, Mr.
Yes, sir.
21, and what was the last year you worked there?
January 9, 2011.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Downey. The commissioner can't speak to the motion after he was nominated, can't participate in making any motion, discussion, seconding. So if someone else can verify, if there's anyone else in the audience that knows, if to my knowledge, he hasn't worked at the Blount County Highway Department, to my knowledge. So he can't answer the question, though. It's being proper. Do you have anything else, Commissioner Daly?
I'm sorry, I thought he had worked there, and that's why he was wanting the nomination.
Is Mr. Hatcher here? Mr. Hatcher, if you'll give your title, please.
Engineering Director, Blount County Highway Department.
Do you have any knowledge about one of the nominees' employment at the Highway Department?
Mr. Hedrick has never worked at the Highway Department.
Thank you, Mr. Hatcher. Anything else, Commissioner Daly? Let me turn it. Okay. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In light of what you just said a minute ago, this question probably can't be answered, but lots of rumors fly within political spheres, and in order to help the public be informed and to stop whispering campaigns, I was wondering if both of the nominees would be willing within 24 hours after taking their oath of office to submit to a hair follicle drug test.
Anyone else wish to be recognized for the purpose of discussion of the nominees? Are the members ready to vote? When your name is called, when the member's name is called, give the name of the nominee for whom you are voting. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Akard. Allen. Archer. Bowers. Carter. Carver. Caskey. Cole. Crow. Daly. Farmer. French. Lewis. Melton. Miller. Monroe. Moon.
Hedrick.
Samples. Stennett. We have 5 for Downey, 15 for Hedrick.
Would you check the tally, please? Hedrick didn't vote.
Yes,
Can't
sir.
vote.
Sorry.
14, Hedrick. 5, Downey. Jeff Hedrick is hereby appointed as Blount County Highway Superintendent. Madam Clerk, you're recognized.
April 21st, 2016, to Margaret Flynn, Blount County Clerk, from Jeffrey T. Hedrick, Blount County Commissioner, District 5, Seat A. Effective upon my appointment to the office of Blount County Highway Superintendent by the Blount County Board of Commissioners, meeting in regular session on April 21st, 2016, I hereby resign from the Blount County Board of Commissioners. I have been honored and blessed to have served the citizens of District 5. Signed, Jeff T. Hedrick.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, I'll ask Senior Sessions Judge Bill Brewer to come forward, and if Mr. Hedrick, it's going to be hard to keep from saying Commissioner Hedrick. Mr. Hedrick, come forward. We'll have swearing in.
Test.
You have the oath.
All right, Mr. Hedrick, are you prepared to take the oath of office?
Yes.
If you raise your right hand, repeat after me, please. I, Jeffrey T. Hedrick,
I, Jeffrey T. Hedrick,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will perform with fidelity
perform with fidelity
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
to which I've been appointed
to which I have been appointed,
and which I'm about to assume.
which I am about to assume.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
to support the constitutions of Tennessee and the United States,
to support the constitutions of the state of Tennessee and the United States,
and to faithfully perform the duties
and to faithfully perform the duties
of the office of Chief Administrative Officer
as the Chief Administrative Officer
of the County Highway Department, Blount County.
of the County Highway Department of Blount County.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll get this over to Mark.
Mr. Hedrick, there's no use to return to want your glasses too? Okay, the next item on the agenda is item D2A. The commission will now appoint a member of this body to the audit committee. The nominees are the Honorable Jamie Daly, the Honorable Ron French, and the Honorable Karen Miller. At this time, the floor is open for discussion of the nominees. Commissioner Daly, you wish to be recognized.
Yes. Thank you. I'd like to withdraw my name, please.
Commissioner Daly asks that her name be stricken. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to let the member, Mr. French, know I'm not opposed to him serving on the audit committee, but if he is appointed, then the two commissioner members will be on that audit committee will be from the same district. I just think it would be wise for Blount County to spread that out. We've got 10 commission districts and only 2 commissioners on the audit committee. I think we'd do well to have some wider district representation. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to be recognized for the purpose of discussion? Are the members ready to vote? When the clerk calls your name, give the last name of the nominee for whom you are voting. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Akard. No. Allen. Archer. No. Bowers. French. Carter. French. Carver. French. Caskey. French. Cole. French. Crow. French. Daly. No. Farmer.
French.
Lewis. French. Melton.
French.
Miller. Excuse me. Monroe. Moon.
French.
Samples.
French.
Stinnett. We have 13 voting for French and 4 for Miller.
And one abstain.
Abstain.
The vote is 13 French, 4 Miller, 1 abstain.
Mr. Chairman, she didn't call my name, I would have abstained, so she didn't.
2 abstain.
2 abstain.
Commissioner French is appointed. to the Audit Committee. Next item of business is D2B. The next item is to act on the mayor's appointment of Blount County Clerk Margaret Flynn to the Information Technology Committee. Chair will stand for a motion to confirm the mayor's appointment of Margaret Flynn to the Information Technology Committee. Commissioner Carver moves. Is there a second? Commissioner Bowers seconds. Discussion on the nominee. The pending motion is to confirm the mayor's appointment to the IT Committee. Vote yes to confirm the appointment. Vote no, not to confirm.
We have 19 voting yes, 2 absent.
19 yes, 0 no. The Honorable Margaret Flynn is appointed to the Information Technology Committee. No business under item E. The next item of business is F1. The chair will stand for a motion on F1, Resolution 1604007, to amend the general purpose school fund budget by $55,000. Commissioner French moves. Is there a second? Is that Commissioner Lewis? Motion is to adopt Resolution 1604007. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know we were told last time that this doesn't have to be put out for a competitive bid. Is the intent to use the same company as was used for the last roofs?
Say one more time.
Okay. We were told last time that this does not have to be put out for competitive bids. Is the intent to use the same company as was used for the last roof repairs?
Is Mr. Logan present tonight? I can't. Mr. Farmer, would you like to be recognized?
Thank you. The intent, this is for the architectural work, and the intent is to use the company that was previously used on William Blount Heritage.
Thank you, Mr. Farmer. Commissioner Monroe?
Will there be any type of seeking anyone else or any type of analysis done to see whether or not we're getting the best deal for the taxpayers?
Commissioner Farmer, you wish to be recognized.
Actually, once we receive the estimate from the architectural firm, you choose an architectural firm by qualifications, not by price. Once we receive it, then it goes to the school board to be vetted.
Thank you, Commissioner Farmer. Commissioner Monroe, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. I want to be clear that I am 100% for fixing those roofs, but given that we don't have a real good process in place and we always go with the same company, I'm just not comfortable that we can guarantee that the taxpayers are not getting the best deal for their money. Thank you.
Are the members ready for the question? The pending motion is to adopt 1604007. Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no, not to adopt.
Mr. Chairman, we have 17 voting yes, 2 no, and 2 being absent.
17 yes, 2 no. The resolution is adopted. Next item of business is F2. Chair will stand for motion on F2. Resolution 1604008 to amend the general purpose school fund budget by $380,000. Mr. Bowers moves. Is there a second? Commissioner French seconds. Motion is to adopt resolution 1604008. Discussion. Commissioner Daly, you're recognized.
Yes, maybe Mr. Farmer can answer this, or Randy. Are these funds, it says it's coming from the school fund budget, so these were funds that the school were already put in the school budget? are these coming from the general funds?
Mr. Vineyard, you're recognized.
The money is proposed to come from the fund balance of the general purpose school fund.
Okay, thank you.
Are the members ready for the question? The motion is to adopt 1604-008. Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt.
Mr. Chairman, we have 16 voting yes, 2 no, 1 abstain, and 2 absent.
16 yes, 2 no, 1 abstain. The resolution is adopted. Next item of business is F3. Chair will stand for motion on item F3. Resolution 1604-009 to amend the highway fund budget by $103,650.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Farmer moves.
Second.
And Commissioner Samples beat you out there. The motion is to adopt Resolution 1604-009. Discussion. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt.
Mr. Chairman, we have 19 voting yes, 0 no, 2 absent.
19 yes, 0 no. The resolution is adopted. Next item of business is F4. Chair will stand for motion on item F4. Resolution 1604-006, establishing an agreement to extend beyond the end of the current fiscal year for fleet leasing services for Blount County, Tennessee. Commissioner Samples moves. Is there a second? Commissioner Allen seconds. The motion is to adopt Resolution 1604-006. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The cars that we currently have now, were they leased before they were purchased, or were they purchased outright?
Mr. Vineyard, can you address that question?
No.
Thank you, Mr. Vineyard. Mr. Monroe, Commissioner Monroe.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This just looks like an excuse to me to give office holders and certain choice employees brand new cars. You know, I think that people are fed up. I know I get a ton of emails with people that are upset about government spending. They're very upset with tax increases and the health care plan. And then when this is put before us that they are going to be able to get new cars, and we're told, well, it'll have to go through the budget process. Well, I just went to the budget workshop, and at times they would ask, are there any questions? And you could hear crickets chirping. So this will not get a lot of scrutiny through the budget committee. So this is just really another chance for people to have something nice that they probably don't need. Thank you.
Commissioner Daly, you're recognized.
Yes, when I was looking over at these contracts, the leasing agreement, also when there was Charter and Spectrum, are those all referring to this resolution?
Commissioner Daly, if you'll bear with me, I believe that the next two resolutions take up Spectrum and the other item. This is solely on the enterprise leasing contract.
Well, let me look at this again. So these vehicles.
This is between Blount County and Enterprise. It's a master contract. The next item will be item 5 will be fiber optic. Item F6 will be for laptop computers.
Okay.
This only has to do with leasing of vehicles.
But on page 74, it's talking about enterprise,
That's correct. That's the leasing company.
and
car
at the
leasing.
top, it's talking, on this next paragraph, it's talking about charter. In the very next paragraph. Charter will provide a telephone response to such calls.
I think you're mixing the two items of business, Commissioner.
So these, well, that needs to be clarified in this.
Are the members ready for the question? Mr. Commissioner Crowe, you're
Yes.
recognized.
I met with the purchasing department and on this issue, and what I felt like after meeting with them and looking at what they had to show me and doing a little homework is that I felt like it was a positive move. It's a trend. A lot of people are doing this. I was amazed to figure out that we lack some fleet management, and this provides that for us, and it gives us a lot of protection and liability. So personally, I don't feel like we're trying to get people in office big, nice cars. I think we're trying to manage the taxpayers' money wisely. Thank you.
Are the members ready for the question? The pending motions to adopt Resolution 1604-006. Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt.
We have 17 voting yes, 2 no, and 2 absent.
17 yes, 2 no. The resolution is adopted. Next item of business is F5. The chair will stand for motion on item F5, Resolution 1604-010, establishing an agreement that extends beyond the end of the current fiscal year for internet fiber optic services for Blount County, Tennessee. We have Commissioner Lewis moves, and we have Commissioner Carver seconds. The motion is to adopt Resolution 1604-010. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a couple of questions. I don't see a budget amendment for this year, so is this already included in this year's budget? And second, is this the
Let's do one question at a time.
Okay.
Mr. Vineyard, if you could take care of that for us, please.
This is to approve the agreement for a multi-year expenditure.
Right. But
Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
are we currently using this company now?
Commissioner Vineyard.
Are we just
Mr.
renewing
Vineyard,
something?
excuse me.
Yes, but we have the equivalent of residential service. This proposes business service.
Okay, and approximately how much are we paying monthly right now?
I don't know.
So is this going to be an increase?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Are the members ready for the question? Pending motion is to adopt Resolution 1604-010. Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to, excuse me. Commissioner Akerd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I did not hear the number of what we're paying currently, and I would like to know what level of service we have currently.
Mr. Vineyard, if I'm not mistaken, said that we're under a residential service at this time, and we'd be going to a fiber optic service commercial. Is that correct, Mr. Vineyard? He's shaking his head yes, Mr. Akerd.
There are different levels of residential bandwidth. I was merely trying to ask what we're paying now and how much bandwidth we have now.
Mr. Vineyard, can you help us with that? Wait a minute, I'm confused. You're directing the question to whom? Whoever has the answer.
Whoever wants the money.
Commissioner-
That's all I need to know is
Okay.
what we're getting now for what we're paying versus,
I'll
it says here what
recognize-
we're going to pay in the future
Right.
and what we're going to get. So I need to know what we have now.
Thank you. Commissioner Carver, I'll recognize you for the answer since you're seeking the floor.
Well, Chairman, may
The
I?
answer is answered, and then I'll recognize you for discussion later.
I don't have an answer
Okay,
to the
thank you.
width.
Thank you. Mr. Vineyard, do you have an answer, gentlemen?
The best person to answer the question is seated to your side, and that's Mike Kane.
Yes. Sir, if you'll identify yourself for the audience.
I'm Mike Kane. I'm the Assistant Information Technology Manager. And currently, we have 100 megabits up and translate like 5 down. What we're going to is going to cost $3,000 a month. We're paying about $400 a month currently for the residential service that's supplying both when I say ours, the entire courthouse and the Justice Center that is not part of the Sheriff's Department. And just a background, we're maxing it out. We're going to the fiber optic, which will give us two things. We'll have a drop here at the courthouse that will be 300 megabits guaranteed up and down. And we'll also have a drop at the highway department that will be 100 megabits up and down. And the reason for the two is so that we'll have a fail-safe. If one goes down, we can swap over to the other. Because the internet's becoming so important to operating the county efficiently, we got so many programs that are web-based. If it goes down, that department or the courthouse, it's down until it comes back up. And this will give us the reliability to do our jobs efficiently.
Okay, Mike, I'm going to cut you off there. As the gentleman asked what
Okay,
the price
the
comparison
cost-
was, but we appreciate your answer.
Okay.
Commissioner Akerd, you're recognized.
Thank you. I believe that I just heard that currently we have 100 up and down.
Not up, no, it's 100 up, but it's not the same thing coming down.
Commissioner Akerd, you're recognized. You have the floor.
Would it be possible to transfer our account that we have now that has 100 megabits per second of speed that we're paying $400 a month to the operations center as opposed to paying $1,200 a month for virtually the same speed on this proposal?
No,
IT Director, you're recognized.
I'm sorry.
Let's have one person speak at a time. Go ahead.
That is a possibility, but I would think that it would be better in case something happens, the one at the Justice Center has to be able to handle the load, and it's guaranteed 100 up and 100 down. I think for safety's sake, that would be the best option.
Commissioner Akerd, you have the floor, sir.
Is the service we have now not guaranteed?
Mike, go ahead and answer.
No, no, the speed can vary based on the number of people that are on it.
Okay. Would we not be better off to purchase 3 accounts of 100 up and down at $400 a month than we are one account of guaranteed 100 for $1,200?
Go ahead, Mike.
Maybe Andy, Mr. Andy Atkinson's here. Based on the prices, well, you got a good answer.
Sir, please recognize yourself before we start, before you answer. Tell everyone who you are and who you're with.
My name's Andy Atkinson. I'm with Charter Spectrum. I am the enterprise fiber sales representative for Blount County, also a resident of District 5. And I can answer the questions that you're asking. The service that you currently have is what's called a best effort service. It's similar to what you might have at your house with a cable modem, where you get 100 megabytes download and 4 or 5 megabytes upload, and it's not a guaranteed service or guaranteed bandwidth. It depends on what everybody else is using, and it's delivered over a copper plant instead of fiber optics. The contracts that you've seen, that you have in front of you, are for fiber optic service. All of the bandwidths are symmetrical, so you get 100 megs up and 100 megs down at the Justice Center, 300 megs up and 300 megs down here. And the question you asked was, would it be better off to get 3 services for 100 down and 4 or 5 up in 3 different places?
No,
Mr. Aker, wait till he yields for you. Ready to yield?
Yes.
Mr. Aker, you're recognized.
I was thinking that we had 100 up and 100 down on what we had now. I understand that from what you've said that having 4 or 5 up it can't compete. So that answered my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Commissioner Aker.
I'm satisfied. Thank you.
You can have a seat. Thank you. Are the members ready for the question? The pending motion is to adopt 1604-010. Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt.
We have 19 voting yes, no nos, 2 absent.
19 yes, 0 no. The resolution is adopted. Next item of business is F6. Chair will stand for motion on item F6, Resolution 1604-011. Establishing an agreement that extends beyond the end of the current fiscal year for laptop computers for the Blount County Sheriff's Department. Commissioner Lewis moves. Is there a second? Commissioner Carver seconds. Motion is to adopt Resolution 1604-011. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I see that this is a lease for 3 years, but the warranty mentions 4 years. Why would we be getting a 4-year warranty on a 3-year?
It's a purchasing agent here. Can I address that to her? Would Mr. Vineyard like to address it? Sir, if you'll give your name for the audience and the board.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Abhijit Verkar, I'm the IT consultant for Blount County. The warranty is for 3 years, and at the end of which it's a fair market value lease, which means that at the end of 3 years, we'll get the existing ones replaced with brand new ones.
Commissioner Monroe.
At the end of the 3-year lease, you'll get existing ones replaced with brand new ones.
Yes, ma'am.
So why would you have a 4-year? Why is 4-year warranty listed?
AV, you're recognized.
I'm going to have to check on that, ma'am.
Okay, I noticed that the numbers on page 95 don't match the numbers on page 96. First, the warranty. Secondly, they're on page 95, there's 16 gigabytes and 128 gigabyte hard drive. And on page 96, it's an 8 gigabyte with a 256 gigabyte hard drive. Why do pages 95 and 96 not match?
I don't believe that this gentleman put together the pages in the packet, so I don't know if that's a fair question. Is that a question you can answer?
It says ship to his name.
Well, come to the microphone, sir. Did you prepare the document?
I did not, sir.
Okay, thank you. So you can't answer. Has anyone else been able to answer the discrepancy? Anyone purchasing, finance? Commissioner, I'm sorry, I don't believe anyone can answer that question.
Okay, did anyone look at purchasing these laptops outright rather than leasing?
proposal before us is the proposal before us.
Yes, and I was wondering if the taxpayers got the best deal for their money, which they often don't.
But I really don't think you can answer.
Mr. Chairman, we did look at purchase options, and this was cheaper.
Thank you. Commissioner Monroe,
Okay, how much cheaper?
AV.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have the purchase prices in front of me, but it's significantly cheaper in terms of monthly payments and the service we'll get from the leasing company.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Monroe.
Monthly payments, okay. I spoke to an IT professional this morning, and he didn't think it made sense to lease laptops. I'm looking at the numbers. It says on page 95 that these cost $922 a piece, but then when we go to page 96, it says that they cost $989, a piece. Then there's some other information there. So I'm just wondering why these numbers, the 92,000 goes to $117,166.
You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think there are options in the document, and when we talked to the Sheriff's Department, they wanted a higher hard drive, a bigger hard drive in there. That's why the number went up. It's still significantly lower than the purchase price.
If I could, Commissioner Monroe, can you clarify, all the laptops aren't identical? Are they identical or not identical?
They are identical, sir.
They are identical?
Yes.
Commissioner Monroe.
Okay, thank you. I just was wondering why some of these numbers didn't match, but okay, thank you.
Commissioner Akerd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. During the process of this conversation that was just taking place, I searched the web. The very first source that I came up with an L460 laptop with a 500 gigabyte hard drive was $745.99 available in 11 to 13 days. As a result, I move that we return this back to its source and it be corrected for competitive pricing.
We have a motion to refer, and this came from the Budget Committee. So you're making a motion to refer back to the Budget Committee? Is that correct, Commissioner Akerd?
Yes, sir.
It's duly seconded by Commissioner Monroe. Pending motion is motion to refer back to the Budget Committee. Discussion. Commissioner French, you're recognized on the motion to refer back.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm just curious if we're comparing apples to apples. I'm out.
Commissioner Stinnett, you're recognized on the motion to refer.
Chairman, thank you. I believe that the reason is maybe a little difference is because we're also paying for services. AV, are we not? Could you address the question to our representative? Or
there's more included than just the purchase, is your question?
Yes, sir.
AV, if you'll come forward, sir. Pending motion is the motion to refer back. This question's in order.
Mr. Chairman, yes, sir. The laptops that are going to come to us will be loaded with software that will talk to other software that the sheriff's running. In addition, they'll come ready to be plugged in along with all of the software it needs. So, yes, sir.
Thank you, AV. Commissioner Akerd, do you wish to speak for the second time on your motion to refer? You gave discussion and then made a motion. Go ahead.
I would like to address what we were just told. I would like to know specifically the software that's proprietary that wouldn't be included as a package competitively on the web.
Okay, AV, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The laptops will come with Microsoft Office, and another big difference from commercially available laptops is these laptops will have 4G LTE cards built into them, and those are a required piece of equipment for mobile workforce, and these laptops will go in the sheriff's vehicles.
Thank you, AV. Commissioner Akert?
I believe the cards that you just mentioned are separated out so that we're not comparing apples to apples. The cards are on this invoice, on this sales quotation for $156.08 a piece. So they were not included in the $989.58 per unit that is in this quotation.
AV, you're recognized.
Thank you. The laptops we're getting, they will have the 4G LTE cards.
Yes, sir, I understand. We see that as a line item on the quotation for $156.08 apiece, or $15,608 for the 100 laptops that we're buying. The reason that I'm bringing this up, the more than $200 per laptop with a larger hard drive, same brand, and by the way, from the same vendor, amounts to the tune of $20,000 just from searching it on the web while we sat here. And that's why I have made the motion to return it to the Budget Committee, because it's absurd.
Thank you, AV. Mr. Vineyard, is the mayor, you just floor? Well, the mayor's a member. He can have you recognized, Mr. Vineyard.
I'd like to recognize the purchasing director, please.
If you'll state your name, please.
Katie Brandon, Purchasing Director.
And this is on the motion to refer back to the Budget Committee, so
Correct.
inform us.
Before you recommend to put this back to the Budget Committee to be put out publicly bid, I would like you to know that this has been a publicly bid contract. It's through a statewide contract, so it already has been bid out. We're just piggybacking on someone else's lease agreement. Thank you.
Thank you. Are the members ready for the question? The pending motion is to refer this item back to the Budget Committee. If you're in favor of referring back, vote yes. If you're opposed to referring, vote no. Please vote.
We have 8 voting yes, 11 no, 2 being absent.
8 yes, 11 no. The motion to refer fails. Pending motion is the motion to adopt Resolution 1604-011. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt.
Mr. Chairman, we have 13 voting yes, 6 no, and 2 absent.
13 yes, 6 no's. The resolution's adopted. Next item of business is item F7. Chair will stand for a motion on item F7, Resolution 1604-002, to authorize submission of an application for litter and trash collecting grant for fiscal year 2016-17 from the Department of Transportation, authorizing the acceptance of said grant.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Farmer moves. Is there a second? Commissioner Carver seconds. Motion is to adopt Resolution 1604-002. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The litter grant is a good thing, and I generally am very supportive of it, but there's statement in here that was in here last year, and it's in here again, and it concerns me, and I have a difficult time supporting something like this when I see this. It says environmental issues, an environmental court is envisioned for Blount County. Keep Blount Beautiful board members lead this campaign by speaking with members of the community about the need. Budget constraints continue to be problematic for the issue. So in order to ensure that public monies are not expended for the purpose of creating or promoting an environmental court, I move to amend the resolution by adding a new section number 3 that says that no funds shall be used for the promotion or creation of an environmental court.
Just a second, we have a motion by Monroe. Seconded by Akard. If you'll state your amendment one more time so I can get it.
Number
so the
3.
Clerk can record it.
Number 3, that no funds shall be used for the promotion or creation of an environmental court.
Slow down. For the promotion
Or creation of an environmental court.
We have a motion to amend Resolution 1604-002. No funds shall be used for the promotion or creation of environmental court. Is that correct?
Yes.
Discussion on the motion. Commissioner French, motion to
Mr. Chairman.
amend.
Is there somebody here from KBB that can speak to this issue?
Pending motion is the motion to amend. Are the members ready for the question? Pending motion is to amend Resolution 1604-002 by inserting 3.3 period. No funds shall be used for the promotion or creation of environmental court. Are the members ready to vote? Vote yes to approve the amendment. Vote no not to approve.
We have 8 yes, 10 no, 1 abstaining, 2 absent.
8 yes, 10 no, 2 abstain. Motion to amend fails. The pending motion is to adopt Resolution 1604-002. Mr. Akard, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to amend this resolution to strike the entire paragraph concerning environmental issues that addresses the environmental court.
I need some help, Mr. Akard. Direct me to
The adopt a
resolution.
highway
We
program.
can amend the resolution. Now therefore be it resolved, Board of Commissioners, Ed Mitchell is hereby granted authorized on behalf of 2 shall be applicable to, the application be approved by TDOT, that the mayor is authorized to execute contracts and other necessary documents which may be required to signify acceptance of the litter grant. The motion on the floor is to adopt the resolution.
So the
application is not before us.
The other 2 pages that are describing this resolution are not part of it?
Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
This paperwork's already been submitted. It says at the bottom, submitted by Vicki McMurray. Now, And I brought this to this body's attention last year, that this was a problem, and nothing was done about it. They could have submitted it without that in there. We can't amend it because they've submitted it. That's submitted by Vicki McMurray, April 4th, 2016. So that's the reason I put in the resolution that we wouldn't expend any funds, but it failed. So I don't have any other choice but to vote no, because I don't support creating an environmental court in Blount County. And I don't particularly like thinking that there's a possibility that public monies could be expended on this.
The chair would like to thank Commissioner Monroe for the clarification. Commissioner Akers, you're recognized.
In that case, I would move that we table this.
We have a motion to table. Is there a second? Second. Okay, let's get this down. Akers moves to table, and Commissioner Miller seconds. Motion to table is not a debatable motion. If you're in favor of tabling this item, vote yes. If you're opposed to tabling this item, vote no.
We have 7 voting yes, 12 no, 2 absent.
7 yes, 12 no, 2 absent. The motion to table fails. The pending motion is to adopt Resolution 1604002. Commissioner Akers, you have the floor.
Yes, sir. This has already been submitted. As we've been told, I think that we have the cart before the horse. I just don't know the legal terminology to throw it out because it's been done before it's been approved. I guess I object to the question.
It has to be done before the chair states the question, and if any discussion has taken place, that's not a proper motion. That time has passed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Samples, you're recognized.
Move the previous question, please.
The board is clear, Mr. Samples.
Move the
Members
previous
ready? Members ready for the question? I see no lights. Are the members ready for the question? Is there objection to the question? Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt.
We have 12 voting yes, 6 no, 1 abstaining, 2 absent.
12 yes, 6 no, 1 abstain. The resolution is adopted. Item F8 was removed on the setting of the agenda. The next item of business is F9. The chair will stand for a motion on item F9, Resolution 1604004, to give approval for the increase in the Blount County Animal Center fees for reclaiming animals.
So moved.
Commissioner Carver moves. Is there a second? Commissioner Archer seconds. The motion is to adopt 1604004. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last week we heard that basically the reason for doing this was because of a handful of problematic people that they have to keep coming in and reclaiming their dog, and a handful of people are causing problems. So I was just wondering if consideration had been given to adopting a scale on first reclaim is 35, second reclaim's 100, third is, if we have that legal authority, and whether or not that's been considered. So I would like to move to send this back to the Animal Committee to
Have a
look at a
motion to
sliding scale.
refer back to the
Or tiered system.
get the name of the body. Animal Center Advisory Board. Center Advisory Board. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Miller seconds. Pending motion is a motion to refer this back to the Animal Center Advisory Board. Commissioner Samples, you're recognized on a motion to refer.
Yes, and I can answer that question. We did discuss a graduated system, and we voted that down simply because it was going to be a nightmare to try to keep up with. Am I correct in that, Mr. Melton, Mr. Archer? We discussed it at length, probably an hour before we came up with just doing the flat fee.
Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized on the motion to refer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When these people reclaim their dogs, do they have to present a driver's license?
Commissioner Carver is are you the chair of the advisory board? Commissioner Carver, can you answer that question?
I'm not sure how they have to identify themselves as the owners. We try to tag the animals so they can be identified. The process, though, from when they claim the animals is, I'm not sure of the process.
Thank you, Mr. Carver. Commissioner Monroe, you still have the floor.
Okay, I don't see how it wouldn't be that difficult to create a logbook, and maybe it would be, but how many animals are being reclaimed each month? And if you kept the owner's name and address in a logbook, you could refer to it. And if you all already know who the ones are because you're bringing it to us.
Commissioner, is this the reason you're asking for it to be referred back?
Yes. If you already are aware that it's a problem with just a handful of people, then you already know who they are. I mean, it sounds to me like the work has already been done, that you already know who the repeat offenders are. So I don't see why we couldn't look at something like that. Thank you.
Commissioner Archer, you're recognized on the motion to refer back.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The issue is one of several. Not only does it complicate the system by having to keep records that they already have their hands full with records, but if we elevate this cost to a certain point, people are going to just leave their dogs, and we don't want their dogs. So it gets too expensive, they're going to just walk away, and we've got to go through the litany of licensing and shots and medical, whatever. So there's a point of no return where we want to make it a impact, but you get to a point where it's too big of an impact, we end up owning a bunch of dogs we don't want.
Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized for the second time.
Well,
Motion to refer.
I can certainly understand that you can't make it too high or people will abandon their animals. Some will. But if you're seeing the same dogs over and over, you're probably not giving them the same shots over and over because they've already been in the animal shelter. So I just think we ought to look at this a little further. Thank you.
Are the members ready for the question? The pending motion is to refer this matter back to the the Animal Center Advisory Board. If you're in favor of referring this back, vote yes. If you're opposed to referring this back, vote no.
We have 2 voting yes, 16 no, 1 abstaining, 2 absent.
2 yes, 16 no. The motion to refer fails. The pending motion is to adopt Resolution 1604-004. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt.
We have 18 voting yes, 1 no, and 2 absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. 18 yes, 1 no, 2 absent. The resolution is adopted. Agenda item G, statements and announcements. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I missed last month due to my husband's injury. I want to thank everybody that contacted me and reached out to me. I appreciate that. And the other thing that I wanted to make this body aware of, recently when there was a consulting services for housing the federal inmates, there were only 2 companies that responded to that. One of them put in a lump sum cost of $18,500. Now, they did say in there that the final actual fee would be determined based upon a meeting, but the other company wanted $65,000. And so we had a company offering to do it for $18,500, and the $65,000 company was chosen. So I think we as a body need to start looking closer at things before we rush into them. And this was, of course, done without our knowledge. I found out about it after the fact and did request it and read it. But I just wanted to make this body aware that that could have been done for substantially less. Thank you.
Commissioner Crowe, you're recognized.
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you and recognize Mr. Chico Messer, who has carried the highway superintendent since we had our resignation, and I didn't want to overlook his service. We appreciate your service.
Item H, input on items not on the agenda. If you'll come forward, sir. Mr. Craig, if you'll come forward, introduce yourself.
James Hammondtree, 864 East Hunt Road, Alcoa. A very important history lesson. Alexis de Tocqueville.
Will be in order.
Sir?
Go ahead. I was asking it be in order so you could speak.
Okay, thank you. Alexis de Tocqueville was a famous 19th century French statesman, historian, and social philosopher. He traveled to America in the 1830s to discover the reasons for the incredible success of such a new nation. He published his observation in a classic 2-volume work, which you can find in the public library in Blount County. Democracy in America, very important. He was especially impressed by America's religious character. Here are some startling excerpts from Tocqueville's great work. Upon my arrival in the United States, the religious aspect of the country was the first thing that struck my attention. And the longer I stayed there, the more I pursued the great political consequences resulting from this new state of things. In France, I had almost always seen the spirit of religion and the spirit of freedom marching in opposite directions. But in America, I found they were intimately united and that they reigned in common over the same country. He went on to try to find out why America was the way it was, the greatness. He sought for the key to the greatness of genius of America in her harbors, in her fertile fields and boundless forests, in her rich mines and vast world commerce, in her public school system and institutions of learning. I sought for it in her democratic Congress and in her matchless Constitution. Not until I went...
Start the clock. Stop the clock, please. Whose phone is that? If you please step outside. Thank you. My apologies, Mr. Crabtree. Mr. Hammondtree, excuse me.
That's okay.
If you'll continue, sir.
I've been called a lot worse. It may be after tonight, I don't know. I sought for it in her democratic Congress and in her matchless Constitution. Not until I went into the churches of America and heard the pulpits flame with righteousness, did I understand the secret of her genius and power. America is great because America is good. If America ever ceases to be good, America will cease to be great. We're experiencing that right now. If you've been asleep, you better wake up. I rest my case. To God be the glory, great things he hath done. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners.
If you'll come forward, sir, and introduce yourself.
Jim Hinkle, District 10. You know, I consider it a privilege to live in Blount County. Every 4 years we have an election, and I think the people do a good job electing officials to represent us, the citizens of this county. I would put the honesty and the integrity of our elected officials up against any in this state. But though it seems we have one commissioner in particular who questions everything, every penny.
Mr. Hinkle, please confine your remarks. Go forward.
And I wonder why a lot of the questions that are asked here in front of the press and so forth aren't asked in these individual offices or departments. I know I have asked questions from various people, the mayor, the finance director, and so forth, and I get answers. But I guess if you did that, you wouldn't get your name and picture in the paper. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak on that? Come forward, sir, and introduce yourself.
My name is Dick Scott, District 10. I just had a comment I want to make from the last meeting that was held here where there was some discussion about having the county's attorney held to 3 minutes on the clock. I think that's wrong. If we're paying this attorney to represent the county and he's talking on how the law would affect the county, he should be given all the time necessary. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to address the commission? Come forward, sir, introduce yourself.
I'm Keith Miller, District 4. And before I get into this matter, I'd like to make a comment on presenting things for people to spend money on. I've sold stuff all my life, and when I have done it, I have had to make a presentation and justify pricing and get into a lot of specifics. And I think that when the county considers spending money, that it ought to be the burden of whether that money should be spent or not should be on the one who's made the proposal, and they should come forward with all the specifics and make the case for the expenditure of the money rather than just making it a flat out up or down vote. Okay, on to what I came to talk about. Because the Aluminum Company of America is so central to the identity of Blount County, I wanted to respond to their recently embarrassing themselves and the county by signing on in opposition to the bathroom bill that was recently scuttled in Nashville. In 2006, the voters of Blount County expressed their revulsion with sexual perversion by approving the Tennessee Marriage Protection Amendment by a landslide of 76% of the voters. Now we find that the Aluminum Company of America has sided with sexual perverts in a whole new, equally disgusting venue, bathroom identity confusion. Allow me to spell this out for the Aluminum Company of America. Men with men's plumbing use men's restrooms. Ladies with ladies' plumbing use ladies' restrooms. And here's another bulletin for the geniuses at Alcoa. There are only 2 genders. Beam me up, Scotty. Thank you for your kind attention.
Anyone else? Anyone else wish to address the commission? If you'll come forward, introduce yourself.
I am Helen Abbott from District 4. I want to thank the Blount County Commission for their smart investment in the Smoky Mountain Air Show held this past weekend. Not only did it make thousands of people happy, it boosted the economy of our county, Knox County, and others. People who were unable to attend could watch it on TV, which was right up on the sideline. I myself talked to a number of people, a family from Canada, a gentleman from England, and his friend from Germany. People from Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi were here. I spoke with a gentleman who has attended the week-long air shows in the larger towns, and his only praise for the Smoky Mountain Air Show was, "This one is way up near the top." Saturday had a few bumps, but if you had 10 guests coming and 50 showed up, what would you do? How many weeks did the media tell us to go early? 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, that's all you heard. We need to thank the airport, the Air National Guard, Vanquish, Blount Partnership, BOBA, and many more, plus the 800 plus volunteers. I am glad we as Blount County were a part in this great event. Again, thank you for your vote to a smart investment.
Anyone else wish to address the commission? Seeing no hands, item agenda I, adjournment without objection. This meeting is adjourned.